All right, we are starting with the next subtopic. That is, how do we measure the rate of reaction? Now here we are considering the first case where in a reaction a gas is evolved. That depends upon what reaction we are going to consider. And how are we going to measure the speed of reaction or the rate of reaction while considering some laboratory equipments and apparatuses. Okay, so let us consider a few examples of this. The first example that I'm considering is, suppose we are having calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3. Okay, this is also called limestone. This is made to react with dilute hydrochloric acid, that is HCl. So this is going to give me Ca will go with Cl. Have you done before how to write the formula of a compound? Have you done this before in the previous chapters?
I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about.
Okay. Here calcium is there. This part is going to go with Cl.
No.
Okay. Ca will go with Cl. So that is going to become calcium chloride. Now what should be the formula of calcium chloride? I'm going to provide you the valency chart, that is oxidation number chart, from which you have to look into the valencies. Of course, you have done the chapter of periodic table. Can you tell me calcium Ca, this element belongs to which group and which period? Since you have done already the chapter of periodic table, that's why I'm asking you that question.
Yeah.
Calcium is there. If you look into the periodic table, it is in group 2, so its valency or oxidation number is 2+.
Plus.
Chloride,
Yeah.
Cl is there. It's in
Period
group
4.
Yeah, that is in period 4, calcium. And chloride, if you are considering, it is in group 7, whose valency or oxidation number is 1- or simply 1. How to write the formula of a compound that is formed between calcium and chlorine, that is calcium chloride? You are simply going to exchange these valencies. So it means this 1 which is there, I'm going to bring over here, and this 2 which is there, I'm going to bring it over here. So the formula of compound calcium chloride is going to be CaCl2. Okay. So this is what I'm going to write in the next part. CaCl2, that is calcium chloride. The gas that is formed is carbon dioxide, that is CO2, plus water is produced, whose formula is H2O. Can you tell me what will be the balancing of this equation, how we can do it?
Yeah. So, for CO, it's 3. So, on that side, you'll have to add 1 more. And for CL, it's 2 here. So, you'll have to add 2 HCl.
Okay, we don't say add, we say multiply. Okay. Now over here, you can look over here. Okay, Cl is 2 over here. 2 chlorines are there. Even H is also 2 over here. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to multiply this by 2. This is going to make 2H as well as it is going to make 2Cl. Okay, this is how we have multiplied. So 2H and 2Cl. So chlorine is also 2 and hydrogen is also 2. We'll check for the other elements. Calcium is Ca, which is here. On the other side, on the product side, calcium. So there is only one calcium atom on both the sides. This is C, that is carbon. There is only one carbon here and here on both the sides. Number of oxygen atoms on the left hand side is 3. Here also you can see over here there are 2 oxygen atoms in CO2 and there is 1 oxygen atom in H2O. So total number of oxygen atoms 2 plus 1 is 3, and on the left hand side also the number of oxygen atoms is 3. So this is how we have balanced the equation. It was a very simple balancing. You just have to put this 2 over here. Okay, I'm going to give you some more examples of balancing of equations. A worksheet I will be sending you. So that worksheet you are going to solve and you are going to send it to me. Now this was balanced equation. Also we are going to write down over here the state symbols. Okay. Calcium carbonate, limestone. This is a solid. HCl, hydrochloric acid. We are going to use it in the aqueous form, in the form of solution. So here below this we are going to write AQ. AQ means aqueous. Calcium chloride that is formed, that is also in a dissolved form, that is aqueous. Calcium chloride basically is a soluble solid, but in this reaction it is formed in the form of soluble salt. Okay, so it is written as aqueous. Carbon dioxide obviously is a gas, so it is written G. And obviously this water is in the liquid state. So this is the complete balanced equation along with the state symbols. This is the first reaction that we have considered in which there is formation of gas. Okay, a gas is evolved. Now how are we going to measure the rate of reaction? There are basically going to be 2 methods by which we are going to determine the rate of reaction. The first method that we are going to consider over here is a gas syringe method. So this is the diagram that we are considering for gas syringe method. You can see here the experimental arrangement of the apparatus. This is a conical flask. This is the reaction mixture. Here we are having calcium carbonate, limestone, where hydrochloric acid HCl is mixed, and immediately you can see this is a cork, which is also called a bung, that is fitted with the delivery tube, which is fitted into a gas syringe. For every certain time interval over here, we are going to measure how much of the gas is evolved. So initially in the beginning when the experiment is started, this gas syringe part which is there, it is going to touch this part. And as the gas carbon dioxide is evolved, this carbon dioxide will push the gas syringe, okay, and it is going to push in this direction. And after every certain time interval, say for every 30 seconds, we are going to record the volume of the gas that is produced. The graph of the volume of the gas that is produced, that is plotted on the right hand side. Okay, so you can see as the reaction is proceeding with respect to time, the volume of the gas over here is increasing. Okay, you can see this is how the volume of the gas is evolved at a certain time. After a certain time, then the volume of the gas evolved is remaining constant. This shows that at this instant, from where the graph becomes flat, from this instant the reaction has stopped. Also one more thing that is to be noted over here, at any instant, if I want to measure the rate of reaction in a graph at a particular point, I'm going to measure the gradient. I'm going to, because this is a curve, so I'm going to draw a tangent like this, and I'm going to measure the gradient, the slope. Suppose this is point P. Now I'm considering this is another point, that is Q. Again the gradient, in order to get the gradient, I'm going to draw a tangent. This will be at point Q. So as you are proceeding with respect to time towards right, what is happening to the value of gradient? What is happening to the slope?
It's increasing, it's going above.
It is increasing or it is decreasing?
From P to Q, it's increasing.
Increasing. At P it is like this, at Q it is like this. The slope is
It's decreasing. It's decreasing.
correct. The slope is decreasing. Okay. So the slope is decreasing. It means the rate of reaction is decreasing from P to Q. So as the reaction is proceeding forward, the rate of reaction is decreasing. At a certain instant where the gradient becomes zero, this line is becoming parallel to x-axis. This is your x-axis. So it means at this instant the reaction has stopped and the volume of gas collected, okay, the value on the y-axis, this is going to give us the volume of the gas that is collected at the end of the reaction. Okay. Now why from P to Q as the time is proceeding the rate of reaction is decreasing? Can you think about an answer? From P to Q the value of gradient is decreasing, the speed of reaction is decreasing. Why does it happen?
It's decreasing because the reaction's almost coming to an end, and at the start of the reaction it goes faster, but by the end, since it's slowing down, the curve stops.
That's right. That's right. That's correct. The amount of reactants which are there in the beginning of the reaction, the concentration of the reactants in the beginning of the reaction is more. So at that time, the speed of the reaction is going to be maximum. As the reaction is proceeding, the reactants are getting converted into products. So the amount, the concentration of reactants is decreasing, so the rate of reaction is decreasing. Okay. And products obviously are formed. So at a certain instant when all the reactants are finished or completed, at that instant the reaction will stop, and therefore this gradient, this line which is there, it will become parallel to x-axis, and the reaction is going to get stopped at that particular instant. So these are all the things that are there in a gas syringe method. Okay, so that was the example that we had considered. That was gas syringe method. We are going to consider a second method by which we are going to measure the rate of reaction. It is going to be loss in mass or decrease in mass of a reaction mixture. This is the second method that we are considering, decrease in mass of a reaction mixture. Okay, decrease in mass of reaction mixture. Now the apparatus is considered over here on the left hand side. This is going to be our electronic balance. The arrow that I have pointed, a conical flask is there. Again, the reaction, same reaction we have considered. Calcium carbonate, hydrochloric acid, calcium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide which is there, of course here we can place something. We can't put a cork or a bung. We can put something like a cotton wool so that nothing from outside can fall inside this. That will come in the precaution part of the experiment. In the beginning, before we start, okay, initially we are going to take this reading as soon as you have put the mixture of calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid. This is going to give us carbon dioxide which is gaseous. This carbon dioxide will be escaping out through the porous cotton wool, and of course these both parts which are there, they are going to remain inside in the solution in the conical flask. This is the conical flask. Okay, so this is the reaction that is proceeding. Carbon dioxide is escaping out, so the mass of the reactant mixture is decreasing. So this is the graph that is shown over here on the right hand side. The x-axis obviously is the time, okay, and this is the mass of reaction mixture. Because carbon dioxide is escaping out, so slowly the mass of the reaction mixture is decreasing. At a certain point, okay, there will be no change in the mass of the reaction mixture. So at this instant, the reaction has stopped. Here the value of negative gradient is tending to 0. So when the negative gradient becomes 0, at that time the reaction is stopped. Okay, so this is the second method that we have considered, decrease in mass of the reaction mixture.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the next method that we are considering, collecting a gas over a beehive shelf. Now this arrangement that you are seeing for collecting a gas, we call it a beehive shelf. Okay, so basically with the help of a delivery tube, the gas will be collected in an inverted gas jar over water. Okay, there is a glass trough, there is a measuring cylinder with which we can measure the volume of the gas collected. Initially, obviously here this will be filled, water will be filled up till top. As the bubbles of gas are collected, it is going to push this water level down, and from here 0 level, this will be 0 over here. We are going to measure the volume of the gas. Obviously in all these cases you have to see that there is no leakage of gas through the bung or any part of the apparatus. One more precaution, important precaution that you should note down is that whatever the gas that is formed, that should not be soluble in water. It should be insoluble in water. So here a different experiment or different set of substances are considered. Here we are taking magnesium and dilute hydrochloric acid. Can you tell me what will be the gas produced in this experiment? Okay, can you tell me what will be the gas produced in this experiment? We are using magnesium. The symbol of magnesium is Mg.
CO2.
CO2. Magnesium
Yes,
is
like
Mg.
magnesium.
What is the formula
Yeah.
of hydrochloric acid? Suppose we are using hydrochloric acid. This is going to be HCl.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. There is no O in the reactant site. How can oxygen be produced, or how can CO2 be produced?
Then,
There is no carbon, there is no oxygen.
then what?
Can you tell me what is the possibility of these combination of reactants that is taking place?
Magnesium chloride.
That's correct. What will be the formula of magnesium chloride?
MgCl, but then Mg has. We,
Magnesium is Mg. If you again look into the periodic table, it is in group 2. So its valency or oxidation state is going to be 2 plus. Chloride again over here, group 7. Its oxidation state or valency is going to be 1 minus. If I'm going to exchange this 1 will be brought over here. This 2 will be brought over here. Okay, so the formula of magnesium chloride is going to become
MgCl2.
MgCl2 plus, what else is remaining? This magnesium has gone with Cl. It's becoming,
Hydrogen.
correct, it is going to become hydrogen. So we are going to write hydrogen. What will be the, what should I write for hydrogen?
H.
Only H?
Yeah.
We have done this yesterday.
Will you write like the 86?
We have done this yesterday. The formula of hydrogen is going to be H2. Okay, again I'm going to write the state symbols for all of this. Magnesium is a solid. You can see over here the strip of magnesium. Hydrochloric acid is in the aqueous state. Magnesium chloride, again this is also aqueous,
Yeah.
and hydrogen is going to be a gas. Okay, so hydrogen gas is going to get collected over here, and same way we are going to measure the rate of reaction by plotting the graph. Volume of gas collected like this, and that is at this instant the reaction is going to stop. Now this same apparatus, can we use it? I'm asking you the question. Can we use it for the previous equation that we had considered? The previous equation that we had considered was calcium carbonate CaCO3 plus HCl, calcium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. As we collected hydrogen gas over here by over water, that is in a beehive shelf arrangement, can we use this reaction, the purple written reaction, the second reaction, using this method? Can we carry out this reaction and measure the rate of reaction when carbon dioxide is evolved? I'm asking you a question, try to answer it.
I guess, yes.
Huh. I'm using the second reaction. This is our second reaction.
Yeah.
This is the second reaction. Can this method be used to measure the rate of reaction? Can this reaction be used?
I don't think so.
Why? What is the reason?
We have CO2, so won't it like dissolve in the atmosphere?
That's right. Carbon dioxide will get dissolved in water. So this gas, that whatever gas that is formed, this gas has to be insoluble in water. It should not get dissolved in water. Otherwise, what is going to happen? Some of the carbon dioxide that is formed will get dissolved in this water. We will not be able to measure the actual amount of carbon dioxide that is produced in this reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
So this method will be used only when the gas is insoluble in water. Okay. Of course, here so far all the examples that we have considered, in all these examples there was no heating arrangement. There may be some experiments in which the heating arrangement, Bunsen burner or tripod stand and those things also will be required. Okay, you can open up the textbook. If there are any questions from that, we can go through that.